Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Couch Crunch Podcast. I'm your host, Nick, and on this episode, we're going to talk about Attack on Titan returning to TV land. You know what I mean? And I have my host, of course, always, and always great to have him on here, Don. And Don, you can go ahead and introduce yourself and, take us away because I know definitely this is something like this is your alley, bro. So I know this is something you're really excited to talk about.
Been years in the game with Attack on Titan. Yep, Attack on Titan. Final season, final chapter. I know they've been struggling with the title for this season, but yeah, it's 1 hour.
It really has been all over the place, right? Like it's at first
final season, part 3, part 2, like all kinds of shit. I don't know, but I just call it chapter.
Right. You could have just said that from the begin with, and then it's like before we were actually getting, because I think you were saying like it was we're gonna get like an hour special, right? Like that was the first episode for this one. And I think the next one's also going to be an hour, right? And that's pretty much going to be it.
It's going to be like the fall time, I believe, the predicted date.
And that's pretty much it, right? Like, I don't think that's
the last part. After that, it's done.
So it's still like a continuation from season 4 then.
Yeah, pretty much. Because, from where this episode starts off, it picks up from when they left off on the ship and everything, the whole crew.
Yeah, I was confused because, before I think before we actually got I guess more information on like the two-parters episodes for the like the additions onto this season, everybody was actually under the impression that it was going to be like a it was going to be like a whole separate season. That's why we were like, well, why call it the final season if you actually have more seasons to drop? But that was before we knew everything, and now it's like, okay, now it makes sense. But it's still the name has been all over the place. So
I just call it chapter 1 and call it a day because they don't do much. But I mean, at this point they should have just called it a movie, Attack on Titan movie, because that's
yes,
what these are, like hour-long episodes.
I guarantee if anyone hasn't already watched it, it's safe to say that they should have definitely just made a movie just to see, like, it's an hour long. The animation themselves, it just feels like a movie, and it's just how serious the moods are, and especially in this first episode, the tone of it just feels like an actual movie, like it's taking it real. I mean, Attack on Titan's always been very seriously, but not very, but like, it tends to be more towards like bringing in the audience with the dramaticness, you know what I mean, of it. Yeah,
building up a story into the world of Attack on Titan.
Yeah, but they definitely turned it up a lot on this episode. So I mean, it's like, whoa.
Right. Yeah, especially just starting off of going with Eren and those 2 kids that they lightly touched up on the last episode, but really got to know these kids a little bit more when we seen that the kid got his hand cut off by he was stealing shit, and he suffered the consequences of his actions. But we kind of get to see like the duality of what Eren was before he actually took that last step of going towards where he is now, of just, the rumbling, the whole shit he's causing now. When he was trying to save the kid in the alleyway, he seen that he was getting messed with by those guys, and he was like, should I save him? He kind of had like that double thought, like going back into his old ways when he used to save people in situations like that. But then he was like, what's the point of me saving this kid when I'm going to kill everybody in this township anyway?
Right.
But he still did it, though. He still seeks some kind of hope in his heart, even though he knew he's going to kill him at the end. And what do you know? Everything just went all down to hell. Like, it just showed everybody getting crushed, like all the Titans crushing buildings. People trying to hijack cars. People on fire. People are getting eaten alive. It's and
It's definitely
it's just havoc.
yeah, it's definitely chaos that's actually happening in this. Like, what a way to come back, and it's like everything is all breaking down and everyone's dying already. It's like this is what we were waiting for, I guess, right, guys?
The rumbling.
Right.
Yeah, the whole thing with that's the whole thing with Attack on Titan too. Like each of these characters, no matter what character it is, in the main cast especially, like they always have like the duality of like them saving people at one point, but also them having to kill some of their own family or partners in the process of trying to sacrifice just to save someone else. It's like just fighting that battle within themselves, and this episode in particular, it kind of showed that everybody kind of outside of Aaron goes through that. Like, just like the whole concept of Attack on Titan itself, like between the two clans of them merging with each other, they was fighting with each other at first, but then they called each other demons at one point in the last season, and they had to work with each other now.
Right.
It's it just shows like that whether you're a villain or you're part of the good side. At one point, do you had to backstab somebody, or you had to kill someone of your own to really achieve
It
that mission.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's it kind of always been that case in Attack on Titan. Like, there's always some sort of ulterior motive behind like everybody's intentions in the show, of course.
Yeah,
And it's like they go from one side to the other. Like with Reiner, him being like, I mean, wasn't he like one of the bad guys in the like the first couple of seasons? So it's like
right.
now he's working alongside with Mikasa and Armin, stuff like that. So it's like it's so weird that having to see that transition later down the road. And that's why I'm saying, like, I think the creators of Attack on Titan, they just want you to really think about the way that character development, that's such a really big thing, big atmosphere in the world of Attack on Titan. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure. And even someone like Mikasa, she's still having like hope within Aaron even to the last minute of as we've seen in this episode. Like she's the only one that's hanging on to that hope that maybe she could still pull Aaron out of this hole that he dug himself into. But
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us actually want to see him pull himself out because I mean, personally me, he's not my favorite character because he's just in my eyes, he's an idiot. Um, but I get why a lot of people still like him because I mean, it's the main character of the show. Not just because it's the main character, he's the main character. It's just the fact, like, the way that, he helped, like, it's just the relationship the bond that he had with Armin and Mikasa. And then, you know what I mean? We got to see him grow as a young man or, a young boy when it started off in the first season. He's been through a lot of traumatization from, losing his mom. I think he's seen his mom get eaten. So it's like by a Titan. So it's like he's been down a lot. Like he's definitely has endured a lot of pain and suffering, but it's it's
and his
it's
dad dying.
right. And it's kind of why his actions are like most of the things that occurred during those times is kind of it makes sense why his actions are speaking now of like why he's doing the things that he's doing. But the problem that I have is that, and I think everybody's kind of on the same train. It's like you're now butchering innocent people in the show, in like in the towns and stuff like that. Like I get that you want to take your revenge out. That's fine, but in the process, you're murdering dozens of millions of people. So it's like I don't. And then it's like kind of like one of those situations. Like, what is the result? Like, what's going to happen after? Like, are you going to continue to just keep? Because the thing is, anybody in that position of power, especially on God tier mode, is going to be like, once I achieve my goal, I'm guessing I'm just going to have to remake a goal. And in order to do that, it's going to involve reshaping I'm guessing, the entire spectrum of things, right? So that's kind of why it's like, But for what though? Like, what is the end game here? Like, that's
His
what
end game is just to his salvage his bloodline. Ultimately,
that
he
is.
just wants his bloodline to be left alone. Just as his whole motive in the last season
There's
of
so
that whole.
like it's not for me to dig deep into it, but it's like there's so many ways to go about it differently though. You could definitely be left alone, but it's crazy, man. I never understood with Aaron, but like going back to what we were saying, it's just like, yeah, I could see why that he's being the way he's doing now, like, you know, what's he doing now, but it's it's different. It's different to see most of the characters being brought together in order to figure out how can we how can we find a way to bring back our friend. You know what I mean? And if that's possible, then that's actually would be a good ending. I personally don't think it's going to end that way though. I think it's going to end with somebody getting killed.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
and I'm gonna tell you now, guys, if any of you guys are Captain Levi fans out there, as myself, if he dies, then we are definitely gonna have an issue. Cause I'm gonna tell you right now, I mean, like, look, fuck Aaron, fuck every other character. Look, I like every other character, don't get me wrong, but Captain Levi is just the guy. Like, he is the guy. So it's kind of like who it would be who will, like, how will the show even go on? I mean, this is actually going to be the end anyways. I'm just hoping that it at least ends with Levi living. That's all I care about. It's just because it's like he's been a badass, man, and he's played such an amazing role, especially being the captain, you know. And it was nice to even see like some of his background story and stuff like that. His stories were actually more like, I don't know why, it was more appealing than Aaron's. I Aaron's was fucked up, but it's like, okay, that sucks, I get it. But Levi's is just was like, I was drawn to his backstory. I was like, holy shit, this guy is great. He should have been
Yeah.
the main character.
Everybody has like their own character. That's what I like about Attack on Titan too, because like everybody has like their own favorite character. That's how rounded these characters are. You
They
get to see.
are. They are. It's amazing, right? Like it's amazing that they can be able to have such a deep emotions for the characters, because like I think that was the idea when they designed these characters.
Yeah,
It's kind of like it, you know, I mean, if you're going based off that, it's like a lot of animes now, like they do that, but it with Attack on Titan, it just feels different because each character really has its own backstory. You know,
yeah.
it's not like
Maybe
where,
because to like Sasha. I don't know if you remember her from the last season, the one that used to eat all the bread all the time.
oh yeah. Oh, yo, God
Yeah,
rest her
the way
soul.
she went out. It's like we got to know her, like her backstory with her
Yeah.
parents becoming Titans and
So for
everything,
Sa-
and
so
the
for
town
Sa-
she used to live in,
so for
and
Sasha fans out,
once
yeah.
she went out.
So for Sasha fans out there, I'm sorry guys. I mean, she definitely didn't, like, I thought she wasn't gonna die like that. I mean, I had a feeling that she was at some point, but I didn't think she was gonna die. Like, she lit up like a match. Like holy shit. Like, she just disintegrated. Like,
Oh no, that was Hanji.
Hanji? Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's her name. Yeah, she died in this episode.
What was Sasha? I
She
forgot was the other one. That was my bad.
was from the last season. She died like she got shot, but
Oh
I think
yeah. I remember now. Yep. That's
season
my
that.
bad, guys.
Yeah,
Still.
yeah, but even a character like that, it's like she wasn't even in the forefront like that, but she was more of a side character. But you still got to know her backstory. That's what I mean. It's like characters in the story. It's like get to know all their, like you
Right.
said, backstories and their history.
Same thing with Reiner, same thing with Connie. I don't understand. Like, Connie actually has his own fan base too as well. I don't I
Yeah,
mean, not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, Connie's one of those like addition. He's like Krillin from like Dragon Ball Z. Like, he's like a
yeah,
side
that's a good.
character, but it's just like, I guess like we don't want to see Connie die. Like, Connie, I thought that Connie was gonna die like way back there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he almost died in the last season too. Like he came close.
Right. Like he's outlived like a lot of characters who were not, in my opinion, guys, not being biased, but like fucking what was it? The Captain Irwin? You know
Oh
what
yeah,
I mean?
Irwin.
Like Irwin was the guy, bro. Like I really
Yeah,
thought he was cool as hell. I didn't think he was gonna die like that. Irwin already had his own fan base too. So when he died, I was like, oh shit, that sucks.
and speaking of him, we got to see him after Hanji died a little bit.
Yeah,
Like,
I was confused at first. I'm like, when the plane took off, I'm like, there's no fucking way. We just seen her just light up and like burst into flames. And
yeah,
it's when she got up, I'm like, she has to be dead, right? And then Irwin was there. I was like, it makes sense. Yeah, she's definitely dead. She's seen everybody who's died throughout the seasons.
yeah.
Yeah, they
That's such
definitely
a powerful moment too
it
when
is.
said, when she said, when we go out, everybody's gonna be watching us from above. All the rest of the Titans that passed away in the previous seasons. He's like, they're watching us, and she kind of paid off that due of doing the same thing after she died. She's seen them take off on the plane when she died. So
Yeah,
it's kind of an
she
instance of
definitely
business.
they let's put it this way. They wouldn't have not been able to get to where they were to even get that close to Aaron towards the end if it wasn't for her because she did buy them time. So that way they could have
So
so that way they could have filled up the tank for the plane to get to take off. Um I thought that was
yeah,
funny.
because dude,
I thought that
yeah,
was funny though when they would when the
the
Titans
last episode.
I thought that was funny though when the Titans were just falling all over each other. I was just like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, Wanji, she tripped him up with the
Yeah,
wire.
they're just fall. No,
Yeah,
it just before that when you see them at first, you just seen the one just falling down the cliff.
right. Yeah, because she did that. She was like, she swung around him and she tripped him up. She knew what she was doing. She was the captain for a reason. She
Yeah,
passed on that legacy to Armin though. She's
she
probably the right one too, because throughout the whole series, Armin, he's like he was a good he was a good person at blueprint stuff. Like he knew how to plot things out. Like that was the main position that he always played in the army. He
I
always
know that's why it was shitty when we
uh,
first. I know what was shitty was that when we thought that he actually died. Remember Armin?
yeah, I think that was like in season 3 or
Yeah,
something.
that
And
was crazy when he. Yeah, I was just like, oh shit.
like got peeled off and everything. Like that shit was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, but like Armin, like yeah, he's a pretty solid. He's not my favorite character, but Armin, he's definitely held it down for like his friends, like Mikasa and especially Aaron. Even though they got into a fight, because a couple of times, he's like always that ride or die kind of person. Even though it's in the toughest of times, he will always try to seek the best out of people. That's
Yeah,
why I like Armin.
I mean, yeah, he's definitely the guy that is able to enlighten the moment. And then it's just like I think like no matter how much times have gotten like worse and worse. I mean, at this point, it's like what else could have had come worse than this at this time. But it's kind of like he's definitely been the guy that's been trying to look up from the upsides. You know what I'm saying? I don't think like he's ever been able to look down on things. He's always been trying to be that uplifting person to try to get everybody to get back on track. And he's definitely played a big part in this entire series for sure. Um, and especially being a very big character to Aaron. You know what I mean? Like it's both of them. Mikasa as well. You know what I mean? So it's like just seeing both of them. It was nice seeing them all be together. I think both season was that like 2 and 3 when they first joined the army.
Yeah, it's part of their own clique, the three of
Right.
them.
That's what I'm saying. I love that teamwork and I love that relationship that they built together. It was really nice to watch that. It's
They
sad
grew
that
up together. Because
right.
that's something I skipped in the beginning. My bad, guys. The first start of this episode started off like I don't know if you remember, but that actually started off how the first episode of Attack on Titan started under the tree
Yep.
and Aaron was crying
I remember
and
that.
Mikasa
Yeah.
was helping him.
I remember that. It was nice. It was nice to see like a little revision from that scene. Um
And you
And
kind of get like an insight of like Aaron kind of knew all of this all along. Like he kind of, it was kind of like a deja vu moment for him.
right,
That's the reason why he was crying, because he already knew all of this was going to happen. As we seen in the last season, he can pretty much can go in the past from his abilities of having his bloodline through the tree of life and
which
all of that.
which is why this is why I'm saying like maybe that's probably why he there's still definitely a piece of him in there. Maybe he feels the fact. Maybe he feels like there's definitely like because I mean I have this theory where it's like I don't even if their plan becomes unsuccessful, it's like who can really stop him? Wouldn't it be himself?
Oh yeah.
Like wouldn't that be interesting to kind of think about, guys? Like it's like
You know what's about that too? I'm seeing a couple of theories online too about like a concept of that. Like if you go back to like the original first episode of Attack on Titan and you look at the color of his jacket, is originally I believe it was like brown, but like later on it's like it's red in this recent season. So people have the conspiracy the the theory of it being two different errands and like a different timelines. And like one of the errands are trying to go back in the past to stop the older Aaron. So that's like
yeah.
actually theory online of people thinking
I
about.
I mean it will be confusing because I hate time traveling, but in my opinion, because it
Yeah,
can get really like your brain just blows.
it really twisted real quick.
Right. But I mean that would be an interesting theory because I don't even think like do you guys see how big he is, man? Like they were fighting on his back towards the end. Like they were
Oh yeah,
the spikes of his spine, bro, were so big like they were climbing on them.
yeah, like literally, he
Like
was so big that the Beast Titan was like so small compared to his like he's just like one piece of his spinal.
I that part I was confused about too. Like so that world type thing. It's like a some sort of like a it's like he can bring you into that pond that kind of spacey looking area and shit. You know what I mean? It's like he can pull you in there just right. It's like a psychedelic type thing. I don't know. Like he just
The tree of life is held at it's like
it's
that
in
tree that you always see in the back.
okay, so the thing is, so what happened to Zeke? It's like, did he take over his body? Is that what, you know, because I know he's trapped in there, but at the same time, like, how was he able to manifest the Beast Titan like that to be able to throw the rocks? See what I'm saying? Like, it's like, is he taking over his body? Like,
Yeah, to get a good example of it is like it's kind of like in I believe it was like in the season before the last is like when his dad was when he was able to take over his dad by like whispering in his ear. He's since his brother's Zeke is part of his bloodline, he's able to kind of control him just like Aaron can control like the rest of the Titans. So once he was entrapped into his mind, like when he tricked him in the last season to stay in that realm, he pretty much has control over him. So
ah,
yeah, and that was another reason why I believe the armor titan, I forget his name,
Reiner, Reiner,
Reiner. So when
yeah.
Reiner was explaining why they was riding in a helicopter on this episode, he was like, he could have easily made us into Titans and took control of us, but he gave us that freedom, and that's a good example of like
Oh,
how
that's
he's able to tap into any Titan and make them under his control.
oh, so that's so the founding Titan powers. It just it is definitely on another level as far as being able to I'm guessing you know, I don't know, to be able to mind control everyone like cuz I know he can communicate to everybody on the planet or, you know, the towns and whatever the case is. Can like like using telepathy to talk to them and stuff. The
Yeah.
thing is, so controlling the Titans, he wouldn't be able to do that without Zeke then, correct?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So then, yeah, that's why I was confused about. I'm like, I thought the founding Titan ultimately this is can he wouldn't even need Zeke to do that because he is the founding Titan. I didn't know that. Like, I don't know. I was confused about that.
Oh yeah, he's basically just using Zeke as a tool because originally Zeke was trying to do the thing that Aaron is doing now, but since he tricked him and he kept him in that room, so he's able to control him instead. That's all that is.
Right.
And since he was able to, that one little girl, I believe her, the Ymir, the girl
Ymir.
that little girl that's inside the tree
Right.
that we seen a flashback of. Yeah, since he was able to like get in contact with her, he's pretty much has the power of that whole entire bloodline. So that,
Gotcha. That makes
yeah,
sense.
that was like that was the whole reasoning behind that episode in the last season of him trying to run towards the little Ymir, the girl.
Which he also manipulated because,
Uh,
he was just using her to get what he wanted. It's fucked up.
yeah, because Ymir's whole thing is like that whole flashback thing, which explained a lot of the bloodline of the Titans to begin with, was they was all enslaved, and this is the reason why the Titans are seeking revenge in the first place, because the way they was treated as a people, and they was all tortured and captured as slaves and
Right.
made to do whatever. But once Ymir escaped from that, she wanted better for her people, and she wanted to pass on to the torch for the younger generation, like a Zeke or Aaron. And unfortunately, Aaron took that and used it as a revenge tool to see what he's doing now with the rumbling.
Right. So
Uh,
he never really had any intentions to. I mean, her intentions was actually good. Like she was actually trying to move forward and actually do something great with this power instead of actually being able to give it to a complete jackass. Right. Like.
yeah, because she just wanted better for her bloodline. That's all. She just wanted
Right.
her.
She didn't seem like she wanted any problems because, mind you, we got a little bit of a story when, they showed that episode about her background and didn't seem like she was definitely mistreated and she's been through a lot as well. So that's kind of why she didn't want to be able to give her power to somebody that was going to take advantage of that. You know what I mean?
Even Aaron's dad, he was trying to not go in that direction either, because
Right.
you know at first, he was just trying to stop the Titans. He was like, "This is wrong, even though this is part of my bloodline. We just need this to end now." That's the whole reason why he was trying to keep the spinal cord serum away from certain people, because he knew once certain people took it in, they can become Titans themselves, and that would just continue the vicious cycle of the Titans destroying shit. But unfortunately, as we've seen, that Aaron even convinced his dad into doing some shit by going into the past and whispering in his ear and manipulating the whole situation. It's like,
This whole bloodline is just fucked up.
yeah, it's a
is
mess.
is basically the best way you could say it. It's just like this whole bloodline is just fucked up. Um but yeah, going back to the episode, I mean, in my opinion, I definitely think it was a really good episode. I definitely been waiting for Attack on Titan to come back for a long time. I think a lot of the fan base has as well. Um
Yeah.
I don't know. I think some people is also like, because I'm reading up online as well. Some people are devastated. I mean, not devastated. Disappointed. But I mean, obviously you can't please everybody out there. But I think it ended on a good note though. Well, it didn't finish. It didn't finish. But it's like this episode, I was okay with it. Um,
It's really good.
yeah,
I
it
mean,
was really good. Like
yeah,
actually,
of course you're gonna have some rotten apples in the bunch, but for the most part, the consensus from what I'm seeing, it's like a lot of people
it's
loved it. I'm really
right.
excited.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm like, how wouldn't you like this?
Yeah, I mean, how
um,
long Attack on Titan fans been waiting for the finale of this, let alone the manga fans. They've been have been they couldn't stop themselves from spoiling on Twitter and other websites like that. So it's like for the anime only watchers like us, to finally get to this point in the story, it's like, damn, we can finally see all this unfold and see what the ending can look like
right.
in
And
like
that's
format.
and that's why that was going to be my next question too, because I was going to say, it's like, what do you think? How do you think this is all going to end, buddy?
Yeah, kind of what you was alluding to earlier. I believe it's going people dying, of course, and it's probably going to end with Aaron dying. To be quite honest,
But
But
would
you
you would
know,
you
I
say
believe everybody predicted that. But
I
you know,
I was gonna say, like, would you say in a very satisfying way, or in a way that is gonna definitely probably break out a tear? Because I think it would definitely kind of go in that direction, because I think they want us to feel something. Especially, I mean, we're gonna feel something regardless, but either way you go, either direction you go. But I would still like to see it end on a very emotional way, because
yeah,
I mean it would, like, because they're kind of already hinting at that
yeah.
the Aaron that we know from the begin with is still in there somewhere,
Oh yeah,
right?
this
So
is
that's what I'm saying. So maybe that would be awesome to see if they can pull him out in time to be able to stop himself at some point.
yeah.
Probably see a giant battle, or a really good battle.
You know that's gonna happen because where
That,
it just stopped
yeah,
at.
right. It's gonna happen. No, but I'm saying a battle between, if it's Aaron and Aaron.
Oh right, yeah,
Right.
that'd be insane. I would love to see if they go in that direction
Right.
too.
That's what I mean. Like, if that happens, we're just speaking metaphor, just speaking hypothetically. Um, but
That's
it's
the thing too. It's dudes online saying because I'm hearing a lot of because the one thing about Attack on Titan is like the manga readers, they already been finished the series, but a lot of them said they didn't like the ending for some reason. I don't know what it is because I never wanted to spoil myself. But a lot of people said the ending they didn't like. But they saying that they might change the anime ending because there was so many people saying they didn't like it. So I'm wondering if they're gonna change the anime's ending compared to the mangas.
wow.
That
Well, how bad
that
that
impact.
that worries me some, though. How bad could the ending be for the manga for you to be able to change it on the show, though? That's weird.
Yeah. I don't know if people are over exaggerating because sometimes manga readers they just like they just over exaggerate, and then when you actually see it, you're like, oh, that wasn't actually that bad of an ending. I get what you might say that you didn't like it, but it wasn't that bad.
They're
But
over exaggerating the situation.
especially Attack on Titan fans, like me, even being a fan myself, I could see the other fans they're like over dramatic sometimes. So I don't know if that's like holds truth to what they say, but you know, we'll see in fall. But yeah, I did want to touch upon this too, like the whole idea of like Aaron, with him dying. He actually, with the when they was in that one part in this episode when they was inside his head, he was like, "Oh no, I'm not going to be reasonable with I'm not going to be have any kind of reasoning. You're not going to be able to convince me or convince me out of this. So you're going to have to kill me." And I have the feeling that I think Aaron wanted all of this to happen. I think he wants them to kill him. He just wants this to be all over with. So I think that's like another piece of the reasoning why he's doing all of this,
Yeah,
because just like he had to do in the past with the armor Titan or other Titans, how he had to stop them, he wants that to happen to
yeah.
himself.
Maybe he doesn't know how to stop.
Yeah,
Maybe he doesn't know how to stop at all, and he wants somebody to just put him out of his misery. Probably.
yeah, yeah. Because that kind of clicked in my head. Like when he said that in his head, I was like, wait, so he's like, I gave you the freedom as Titans to stop me. That's the reason why I didn't take control of you guys. That was the
Yeah,
whole.
there's definitely a purpose behind of the reason why he definitely could have easily took him out when he first got into the founding Titan.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a point to why he wanted them all to come towards him and stop him. Man, it's
The
gonna be crazy.
the question is, if it's one of those like situations where you're gonna have to do the final blow, you can't
Yeah,
hesitate. Definitely can't. And especially for Mikasa and Armin, which it might be really difficult for them to not hesitate, because it's come on, man, that's their childhood friend. They just want him back. At
right.
this point, they want to go back to just living in peace. Because I
Yeah,
mean, at this point, it's like they said it the best, man. You know how many people, comrades and soldiers have died in the process throughout the seasons. Come on, man. At some point, it has to come to an end.
yeah.
So
And that's the whole point of what. the character Annie, to touch up on her a little bit too, like
It was
she's
nice
at
to
the
see
point
her come
where
back too.
she just wanted to stop. She said, "I want to live the rest of my life, even though it's not much, in peace," you know. And she was like the wildest one out of them in the beginning seasons of Attack on Titan, like when she was first being able to use her abilities as a Titan, but now she kind of wind down and she became the more calm one out of the bunch. And she said, "I can't do this anymore." And that's the reason why she didn't go with him. She actually was kind of hinting at she wanted to be with Armin and live and build a family with him because she had a crush
For real?
on him.
That's
Like,
new. I didn't know that. I,
yeah, because you remember the one scene when Armin and Annie was talking, there that I think they was on the boat and they was
oh
kind of
yeah, yeah,
blushing at each
yeah, yeah,
other.
yeah. Yeah, but I didn't put two and two together though. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that until like this episode. Like they didn't really hint at it in the other seasons, but I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was always a thing. They didn't
Right.
like each other. I was like, okay, I guess.
That's because even when she was in camp, when they were in like, boot camp or whatever you want to call it, it's
Yeah,
like they didn't even hint it at all. Like,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, because
that's
she's always like the angry one in the bunch. Like she was always wanted
because
to go on a mission and always wanted to kill shit.
I mean it was I think as they touched up on some of her backstories, there's actually a reason why she's always been non-trusted for anybody. She just doesn't trust anyone. And that's kind of why she's been in that lead, like, solo, you know what I mean? And she still has trust issues. You could definitely see it. Um and that's kind of why she's always there. And then she knew information that nobody else knew. You know what I mean? She was very secretive about a lot of information that she was given. Um,
Yeah,
but
because she will. Because it's like this. Is this one spin-off episode where it just takes place as her as the main character, and I watched that a while back too, and it kind of dived more deep into her character of Annie when she used to do missions on her own, and yeah, she has like trust issues with people because like people would backstab her all the time or do stuff behind her back that she would.
right.
Then that's kind of what lost her trust with certain people,
And then
and that's who she is.
it was definitely very empowering, especially being one of the first female Titans. You know what I mean? Especially um, when she first turned into it, it was like, holy shit. It was different because we always used to, the Titans being naked and running around crazy.
Yeah,
Um, but with hers, she was different. Like her, just
yeah.
her design, her combat skills,
Yes.
the way that she
Around that.
strategizes, her move, like like her move sets, and you know what I mean, just her character in general, as a generalization of a character, it's just like it was just so different, especially when she first was brought to the screen. I think that was like season 1 too, right?
Hey, yeah, she was like one of the first ones that they looked at it as a betrayer. Her and the armor titan, like they was working together at the time. It was like, wait a minute, y'all backstabbed us. Yeah, she's actually one of my favorite characters in out of the bunch too, Annie. Yeah, because she has such a unique story.
I like her. I think she's cool too, and Reiner too. Reiner was cool, and Berthel. Berthel was cool too. It's just like I said, they were just misled by that was Zeke, right? That was telling them what to do.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's
Titan at the time. Yeah,
yeah, so that's kind of why they were young, so they didn't even know what the fuck. They didn't even know who to trust and who to believe in and shit at the time. So of course they were just doing what they were told to do, and I mean they weren't bad people. They just did bad things, yeah. But if you're one of those people who definitely can be, you know, that can forgive themselves to the I mean others might not forgive you, but the fact that, if you're trying to have a change of heart, then you know what I mean? Like that means like you could try to forgive yourself, try to move forward with your life. But thing is with his situation, Berthel, I mean, he didn't have an option at that point. He died. Like
right. Just went out like that, and that was a interesting situation too when Reiner was kind of apologizing to Annie at that moment. He was like, "I'm sorry that I put you through all that and got you in situations that you didn't necessarily want to be in." And it was cool to see that arc come to an end of like him realizing like the things that he done that Reiner done and convince people to stay on his side as trying to be with the Beast tie-in, that it was all wrong at the end, and it kind of led to this moment of it kind of shows that he grew as a person in that moment when he apologized to Annie. I like that because for the longest, the armor titan, he was like always known to just blow through shit and just like he didn't care. He was just like,
It
I'm
was
just here to just complete this mission and that's it.
it was him and Annie that was actually really cool, man, because they always had the shielded, they had the shield skin. Um and it's just kind of like they were just completely different from every other Titan out there. Then you have the freaking, what is it? The four on four on four
Yeah.
is Titan. I forgot what that one's called. With the ones that
Oh yeah. He's like the carrier or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. There's
Yeah.
all sorts of Titans, but I think those two stood out the most because they just, not only they were the first ones to be introduced, not the first ones, but the first really cool ones to is the best way I can say it. To be introduced to the screen is it was definitely memorable, and it was nice to see that they actually put the past behind them to move forward. That was very important.
Definitely. And it's like a reoccurring arc that all these characters go through. They start off maybe bad, but then they switch sides and see like the what's greener on the other side, or what's a better position to put themselves in to save humanity, you know. And that goes to Flacco and Gabby, them being like the newer characters of
That was
the
fun.
next generation.
The way that Flock died, I was like, damn, Jesus Christ. It just Mikasa, man, she pulled out that damn the grappling hook and just shot him right in the damn chin.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, no, that wasn't on Flacco, but I
Yeah,
forget that his name. He was found in the water because the last episode we left off on before this one, he they blew up the ship, but he fell into the water and then
he was the last
he
one because they killed everybody else, right? Like,
right. Yeah, because he was part of that organization that was trying to take down the rest of the Titans, and then he appeared. He's still the only one left, and he was like, "Wait, what the fuck?" And yeah, because he actually damaged the plane he was trying to get into, and that's the reason why they had to fix it because he shot it up.
right?
Those last shots before he died. But yeah, Mikasa might have fucked him through the wire around his neck. I'm like,
Yeah, I
damn.
was like, that was crazy. Just in
Yeah,
time before he shot the bullets too. That was crazy.
yeah,
Um, but what would you rate this episode, buddy?
man. This episode, uh, I barely see flaws in it.
He said it
I
might be actually for the first time on the show. You're probably like, yo, for the first time, I'm gonna probably rate something a 10.
yeah, this might be a 10, but I give it a 9. No, I give it a 9 only because one reason one reason I would say that because is I wish they would have went a little bit into the backstory of Ymir a little bit more, just to get to know like where she went once once he took over inside his consciousness inside that realm. Like I was curious of where she went, but because I know she's like really important when it comes to the tree of life and everything like that. But besides that, yeah, this episode was like, man, flawless. From the animation to the storytelling to the character arcs and man,
Yeah,
yeah,
I would say the same thing for no. I would say, I would say a 9 too as well. And I only say that is because um I just don't like Aaron. Yeah, I think he's the biggest issue in this entire equation. And I think every Attack on Titan fans just at this point just be like, look, either throw something at his head and just make and boof, he's gone. You know what I mean? And this time, make sure when you snipe him, make sure he stays dead.
Yeah, don't let Gabby do it.
No, Gabby. Where the hell is Gabby? She was nowhere. She's gone, right? Like I think she went on her own.
Well, they showed her on the ship with her friend. You know, towards the end, she wasn't really in there that too many scenes, but they just showed her on the ship with Annie because Annie was trapping those two inside the room. Remember? I don't
Oh
know if you
yeah,
remember that
yeah,
scene.
yeah, yeah.
Trying to keep them inside from escaping. Yeah, those two. We I can't wait to see what those two are gonna do because the other kid he can turn into a Titan as well. So
I
that's gonna be
kind of that's the only thing I'm annoyed about because it's like we have to wait another freaking like few months. Like,
yeah, yeah. Trust me, you're not the only one on that boat. Yeah. They was like, why didn't y'all just release the two at the same time?
yeah,
Or at least,
it's kind of like we've been waiting so long already as it is, and now it's like we have to you split it up into twos. At least can you put in some fillers? You know what I mean? Like for us to at least enjoy the damn series, man. Like, come on.
that's why I said they should have just released both episodes as a movie and just called it. Like that would have been perfect to
That
end
would
it
have
off
been
on a
that
movie or something.
absolutely. I think a lot of people would have even preferred that way anyways because they would have at least went to the movies to even go check it out if that was the case. Because I mean, you got
Yeah.
Demon Slayer out here. They're doing that. A lot of animes are doing that now. So it's like I don't understand why not do the same thing.
Yeah, they could have easily, but the studio Mappa, they got a big roster on their hands on this year. So they got House, House Paradise, Vinland Saga, Jujutsu Kaisen. They're
Oh
working on.
yeah, that's right. That's right. They're trying to wrap this one up so that way they can focus on others.
Yeah. So I understand, like from an animation point of view, like the studio have a lot on their hands, but it's like, damn it, they should have planned it out better at least. But yeah, what can you do?
I get
At
that.
least we're getting it this year. So
Yeah, I was gonna say I get that part, but it's like this was your biggest one though, wasn't it? Was it not? I think they always had like others. I don't know if it was other successful animes that they had, but it's like
It's pretty up there too, like as one of their higher popular
but
ones.
this is the one though that kind of put them out there more, right? Is it not?
Oh yeah, like before, because originally before Mappa got it, it was Wit Studios that was that did the first three seasons, and then the fourth season that's when Mappa picked it up and they took it from there. But yeah, it's definitely like one of their bigger ones for sure.
I just I just want more episodes.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
uh
and it's good to see like this. Throw this in here real quick that Attack on Titan won a couple of awards at the Crunchyroll Awards.
yeah,
So
congratulations guys.
yeah. And
Congratulations.
I know you'd be mad at this too, like, but Aaron actually won the best character of the year for last year.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys on the next episode. I'll talk to you. Like,
It does seem like Aaron does have a fan base. Don't get it twisted.
uh,
He won the best character of the year.
yeah, somebody light him on fire. Then I'm sorry, not the fans. It's just like just that character. Just hate him. It's just like he's always just, I don't know, bro. It's just like he's always just been a bitch. He doesn't. He complains about a lot of things. He always almost got himself all the time killed, and he puts himself in situations because he. It's just who he is, right? Like that's what he does. But it's like, just
It's
if
so funny because in the first season, Mikasa always had to save him because he kept getting kidnapped by the armor titan
because
and the
he's
other
an
kid.
idiot. Yes, he's an idiot. It's just,
Being so funny, he kept getting kidnapped.
like
So I'm like,
I think in the beginning, like I had respect for the character for sure, but then as I started to watch more of the series, I'm like, there's something really wrong with this guy. Like,
I understand his motives, so but it's like, man, I'm like split on Aaron. Like I understand like part of him because it's trying to free your people from slavery, but on the other hand, why you had to do all this other shit at the midst of it.
hmm.
It's, I'm like split on him in that kind of way with Aaron. Hey, I see where it goes in the last episode.
Well, I mean, for for can't even get it out of my tongue. Um, for Aaron fans out there, I mean, I hope you guys are getting ready to wish him goodbye. Because if he dies I mean, look, listen, if they happen to kill him and that's it, and it just cuts to black, I'm gonna be like, I'm okay with this, just because I don't like the character.
Yeah,
But
it's like it's going that direction. So
I think we got it most of everything out. Do you have anything else you want to add before we close out?
I don't know. I'm loving it. This is definitely like the one of the best animes of the last decade. It's definitely gonna leave a milestone on the anime community for sure. As you everyone can see how popular it is, and yeah, I just can't wait to the fall and finishing it up.
They should have just finished it now. I'm sorry. It's just because that's so far. But no, I think that wraps up everything. I don't have anything else to add, but definitely, guys, we appreciate all the love and support you've been showing on the channel. We want to see more of. If you guys want to see more content, obviously like, subscribe, and follow us on all social media content. And I think that's about it. We'll see you guys on the next one. See you later.
Peace.